What's up? What's up, everybody? Simon here. In this video, we're going to go ahead and talk about business. That's right, business. A lot of you guys want to make more money. You want to be an entrepreneur. You want to work for yourself. You don't want to work for someone else while making them rich. Therefore, you're considering potentially to open a business. However, right now, it's one of the toughest times to open up a business due to the economy that we are in. We are nearing recession. The banks are saying we're going to be in a recession. So what type of business should you consider opening? What is a recession-proof business? Or what should you potentially get into so that you're successful during an economic downturn? And again, we have not had a major downturn since 2008. Maybe in 2020 for that brief period, then the stimulus has kicked in and things started opening up. So we got out of it fast. However, the economy has not crashed like it has in 2008 and the following years after. So in this video, we're going to talk about potential businesses that are great during recession. They're great during inflation. They're basically all around a good business at all times. So before I get into this video, I always remind you guys to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I appreciate it. It's the biggest favor you could do for me. Let's talk business. Okay, so before we get into it, it could be there's a lot of different businesses that are actually recession proof. I'm going to skip through some of them, give you my feedback on some. As someone that's owned several businesses in my last 25-year career as being an entrepreneur, including businesses in the welding industry, airline luxury travel, marketing, healthcare, you name it. I've kind of dabbled into pretty much every type of business on one level or another, seen some consulting in those businesses, experienced investing, and it just goes on and on and on. However, through multiple recessions, a pandemic, I've realized what businesses are actually solid businesses that you could potentially look into as well. So first on my list would be food and beverage. People still have to eat. If you are supplying grocery stores with certain type of beverages, or you opened up a water company, or you're doing something related to food, and I'm not talking about owning a restaurant. I actually think that's dangerous. We've seen that in the pandemic, and a lot of businesses have closed because of it. I'm talking food and beverage where you are supplying general frozen foods or similar items to your local grocer or grocery store. So that type of business, being a grocery store, a grocer locally, etc., that's actually a pretty decent business that's going to survive a recession simply because there are three things that people need: that's sleep, they need to eat, and they need to feel loved. And some of those food businesses can include vending machines, can include fast food restaurants, which have boomed during pandemics and recessions, and pretty much anything that provides a fast food type of alternative, or even, again, a grocery store. The second business, I have some experience in that business. My wife owns a home healthcare and hospice industry. Healthcare businesses now are not pandemic proof because patients would not want to be seen during a pandemic. Patients did not want to go into doctor offices during a pandemic. They were afraid of getting sick. So that's not pandemic proof, but it is recession. Ultimately, people end up getting sick. They need attention. That business will not go away if done properly and ethically. It is a great business to be into. So healthcare related businesses can include anything from essential healthcare, such as home health, hospice, physical therapy, nursing. Those type of businesses are essential. Now, I'm not talking about opening a med spa. However, med spas have been on a big rise. And in fact, it's a super growing industry. You should look into it as well. And it doesn't require a license outside of California.
Just to remember, license never replace eye, ear, and brain.
Who doesn't love pets? Pet owners spend so much money on their pets. So it's incredible that pet care businesses are not recession affected. So if you have a pet grooming business or you have a veterinary clinic, pet businesses for pet supplies, pet stores, those are recession proof. People are ultimately going to buy things for their pets. And during the pandemic, the pet business actually grew by a lot because more people adopted pets to keep around their family. Okay, I've always said this, welding, which is a company I own where we sell machines, plumbers, utility workers, electricians, anyone that has any type of maintenance work, it's recession proof. People are going to be at home, working from home more. Their toilets are going to clog. They're going to need a plumber to come out and fix things. So if you are trying to start a business or you're getting into a career, welding and plumbing are some of the best businesses to look at. You're always going to have potential work, and it is definitely a solid business that's not going to be affected by anything. So anytime you're in utilities or repairs, you're good. Now, a lot of people associate auto repair with that type of industry, but auto repair actually took a big hit during the pandemic. No one was driving. There was less accidents on the road, less maintenance on their cars, less towing. Towing actually took a big hit as well. I know someone that owns a towing business. They struggled during that time. All right, another business, real estate property management. Real estate is my favorite investment vehicle. It's a tangible asset. It's not going to go up and down like a stock, in my opinion. It is there for long term. So if you could invest in real estate and then open up your own property management company, you would be in good position. Property staging, property management, making sure things are getting done. If you manage X amount of apartments, I think you're going to be in good hands. If you happen to own a lot of property and you own your own property management company, you're technically double dipping and you're going to be able to really have a successful career. All right, this next one is really good. No matter what time you're going to be investing in this business or opening up this type of business, that is baby products and childcare. So my mother had a childcare business when I grew up. She was never out of work. There's constantly kids revolving through the door. Super hard business to be in. I had to help her a lot in that business, burping babies and making sure kids are okay and changing diapers and so forth. So that type of business is always going to be around. You're not going to get super wealthy off that business, but I know somebody in the Bay Area that has about 10 to 12 childcare businesses. And with each childcare business, they bought a home and opened a childcare business in that home, got workers to manage the childcare, and now they're sitting on 12 plus properties that are worth over $1.5 million each, and some well over $2 million. So they took a childcare business, added the component of real estate, and boom, they became a multi-millionaire.
Big bank, small bank, I like to make money. All right.
And baby products, people are going to need diapers, they're going to need baby clothing, etc. So baby products are always going to be there. There is few things that are guaranteed in life. It's death and taxes and hopefully the birth rates. So baby products are going to be in that category. Here's a business that is not going to go away because the government wants its money, and that is accounting. Accountants are the last people to always get fired at any job. In fact, they have to close the books, shut it down before a company dissolves. As someone that's going to be dissolving a company very soon, I will be relying on an accountant as my last piece of discussion to close a business down. So accountants are always going to be needed because they're always going to need to file taxes, do your books, and give you accounting advice on your real estate moves, etc. CPAs, accountants are essential businesses. They're one of the most secure businesses during a recession and pandemic. They'll never be affected. Personally, I could not do that job, sit at a desk for 8+ hours a day crunching numbers. It would kill me, but overall, that type of business is solid. Okay, so here's another business that may be on that borderline of a recession proof because it's a cleaning service business, and cleaning services are generally gonna be in demand no matter what, especially if you're doing commercial cleaning. Commercial buildings, if you get contracts, are always going to require someone to come in and clean. When someone owns a commercial building, they're not going to go themselves and clean that building because it's too big, it's too much work. they're always going to contract out, and that building always needs to be clean. If you're cleaning homes, well, the family may cut back and force the siblings or force themselves to clean up their own home and cut back on costs. But if you're in commercial cleaning, guess what? That business is solid. You're always going to be around. A big building is going to always need to be clean on Monday or Sunday, and that's a good business to get into. In fact, I recall I met a Pepsi executive that was a Pepsi top executive on a vacation in St. Bart's. He was there for 25 years. He left the company and he opened up a commercial cleaning company, and we had a discussion as to why. He said, hey, it's everything proof. I have a team, commercial contracts, and that's it. I don't do any work. I manage that company and it's guaranteed. All right. Courier services are fortunately pandemic proof and recession proof. With the pandemic, we've seen a mass amount of packages being shipped, and recession, people are still buying things, packages are still getting shipped, or letters are still being delivered. So courier services are good businesses. I've known a few courier services around my time in where my existing office is, and they have all grown and have sold for good amounts of money. Here's one that I like and dislike, but I think it's so good. Funeral services. That's right. People are going to die. And if you own a funeral and cremation service or parlor, you're going to make money. It's a tough business to be in because you're dealing with death. However, it's guaranteed. No matter what happens, that person will pass. They'll need to reach out to you to cremate the body or have you do a funeral service. And they're not cheap. And with that, you could go into a business of providing tombstones and so forth. So it's a really good business, something I would actually consider getting into because it's guaranteed. You should look into it as well. So recession is a good time to start a business, as any if you start the right business. When starting a business, there are things I want you to consider, okay? There are things that I have learned through the course of many years in business. One, I would not start a business myself that has to do with products anymore. In my welding company, would have to ship from China. I would have to carry the inventory, have large storage space, deal with shipping damages, tech repairs, marketing, everything that a business has, plus all the components of storing products, repairing products, dealing with damages, dealing with warranties, etc. Personally, I would do a business in the future that is more digital-based, software-based, or service-based, because you don't have to carry inventory. You're not relying on any factory, and you're simply just providing a service and billing for that service. To me, that's a much better business than a product-based business such as tools, such as makeup, such as things like that. However, makeup is better than welding in my opinion. And if you're a lady and you have a good internet presence, having a makeup brand is pretty cool. And guys could do it too nowadays, because even Alex Rodriguez, the famous baseball player, has had his own makeup line. So starting a business, there's no right or wrong time. Just do it with a good business plan. Get into a business that you see is making money. If someone around you is successful in a specific business, you could look in that area and see what they're doing and mimic. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, but you need to make sure you're on top of your game as well. And with recession-proof businesses, you get to negotiate better rates with your vendors. You get to lower your prices in certain regards to start up your business, because you have the argument that it's a tough economy. So you negotiate with your vendors a better price. You're more adaptable and understand that the market is lower, and they are as well. Obviously, listen to your customers. That's the number one success. I always try to start a business in the most affordable sectors or the most essential sectors. So always look into that. For example, if you're starting to flip real estate, you don't go for a $10 million property as your first property. You go at the bottom of the barrel. You get, say, $1 million property if that's entry level in your area, and then you flip that property. It applies the same to business. If you're importing products, get products that more people can afford than less people. This way your niche or your market share is a lot greater to approach than, say, a small percentage of individuals. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this recession-proof business list. Comment below if you want to add any businesses to this list. If you have any feedback on any of these businesses, comment below as well. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe. Truly, it's the biggest favor you could do for me. I appreciate it. I'll catch you guys here in the next video.